Hi everyone, so welcome to my channel, and today we are going to study about bundlers. So whenever you have worked on a React application, then you have maybe probably worked with Vite or maybe with Webpack, and whenever you run a command like npm run build, and then it automatically creates a optimized asset JavaScript bundles for you that have CSS, that have JS, that have your assets. So what happens at the background, how bundlers actually do that, what they do, and why do we actually need them? So today we are going to study that in under 5 minutes. So let's get started. So the first thing is that whenever you have made a React app, then it has a lot of JavaScript files, right? That may be importing each other, that importing another npm packages or stuff, right? So whenever a React application is made, it has maybe, suppose let's 100 files, right? So there would be an entry file, for example main.jsx, right? It imports app.jsx or maybe hundreds of other files. Maybe this is the structure and it imports other 100 files, right? So what the bundler actually do is it finds the entry file for you, and then it creates a dependency graph for you, which looks like kind of this, that main.jsx, then it goes to app.jsx, and then maybe first.jsx, second, which internally uses third.jsx, and so on. So what it does is it creates a dependency graph for you that will help him out in creating a optimized build. So the first function of the bundler which we have studied is optimizing build, right? So now the bundler use case is not limited to this. So the second thing which is does is tree shaking. Now what is tree shaking? Tree shaking is basically removing unnecessary unused module which you have maybe imported. So for example, you have import maybe add from math, let's assume that, right? And you have also imported subtract comma multiply, right? Now you are you are only using add as of now in your application, and subtract and multiply are not getting used, right? So when the final production build will be made, these two will be removed from the bundler, like they will not be added. So they are not used, so they will not be added. So this is the second thing which bundlers do. Third one which thing the bundlers do is minification, like to make your build of small size that helps it load faster. So maybe you have a function math value multiplier and hundreds of other stuff. So this is your function. So when the build will be made, it will all be converted to something like function a parameters b comma c, and it does something, then it returns. So what it does is basically it has reduced your such a long form of function to a something very smaller, right? This is the third part, that is the minification. Fourth thing that the bundler also does is code splitting. So in today's world, when there are thousands of JavaScript files, so what do you want is that you don't want that when you load your home page, other hundreds of pages loads, because this will internally create a lot of time to load the home page, because everything is loading simultaneously, right? So you don't want that. So what you will do is basically you do code splitting, that when the home page is loading, only it loads, nothing else. So this is also supported using lazy loading and other stuff, which we are going to study in later in this series. So this is how you can do code splitting using the bundlers. Bundlers support that. Now, other than all of this stuff, bundlers also support importing of assets like JSX files, fonts, images, CSS, which are not directly being used at a browser. The browser don't read them, all of these, as JS modules. So these are also supported using what we say is our bundlers. So how this is why we use bundlers. They help us a lot in our production grade applications. They have become the backbone recently for the applications which we use. So these are all some really important concepts of bundlers, why we use them, why they hold so much importance. And thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you liked it, and we'll continue with this front end series. So thank you so much.